All right, my fellow investors. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having an amazing day today. So we're back at it with another stock market update. So as you can see here, all markets are up right now. The markets have been having a positive week so far. They started off in the red today, just bounced back from there. They're looking for some support right now, and they may have reached it. However, I'm going to be disclosing some information here that I've been watching very closely, especially some of the similarities to the coronavirus crash. All right, so let's go ahead and get into that. All right, guys, so in all major sell-offs, there's going to be a lot of gaps opening. All right, so I'm going to go back in history. All right, just show you all gaps and what tends to happen to gaps. All right, so let's see these two trading days here. So there's a gap, got filled. All right, there's a gap between these 2 days here, got filled. All right, I'll be disclosing what gaps are later on in the day. I just want to show you what tends to happen to gaps. Look at here, the gap closed. All right, I'm just gonna go over briefly some of them. There's a little mini gap here. It's closed here. Let's go back. Anywhere we can find a gap. All right, there's a gap here. Low 425. High 322. There's a gap. Got filled here. All right, so let's go back a little further into history. Gap here, 308.81. High here, 302. Eventually it got filled over here, guys. All right, so main point of this is basically gaps tend to be filled, and I'm going to go ahead and show you right now where we're approaching. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the similarities that we're seeing today from the coronavirus crash. All right, there's another gap right here between these 2 points. Got filled here. Gap between these 2 points here. Low 361.33. High 357. So there's a $4 gap around there. Got filled, and then from there, like I said, price action could go either way. It could go higher, it could go lower. As you can see here, it crashed. Since it's fulfilled its purpose of filling the gap, now price action could continue in any direction. The last 2 trading weeks, a lot of gaps have been opening up here, guys. Look at that. One gap, gap down, gap down. One other thing that I do watch is basically the way prices work. All right, so there's a lot of indicators that you need to watch. So gaps is one, sell volume, buy volume. You need to be watching all these things, guys. So right now, watch these points very closely. Right, so as you can see here, the sell volume was increasing, and then all of a sudden slowed down. We had our little reversal day here, basically picked up again to form another gap down. And then here, as you can see here, guys, the volume is diminishing. However, price action is going higher. So that's a divergence. So that's definitely something you want to take a look at and pay very close attention to. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the financial news. However, banks are pricing in a 30% probability of a recession. All right, that's up from 15%. So definitely be on the lookout. We're basically not out of trouble right now. So be very cautious out there and never put all your money into one position or all in at one time in the market. All right, that's one thing I've learned. Buy here and there. Every time the market takes a big dump, basically a big pullback, you should be buying into some positions, because when the bounce happens, guys, you'll be rewarded. All right, so one thing I want to leave you guys with before I leave here is basically, remember, markets are all forward looking. All right, so that means they're projecting future earnings, they're projecting future events. So basically, right now, the market is pricing in the chance of a recession, which is most likely going to happen. However, they're ahead of the game. Obviously, these wealthy investors, they know way more information than us retail investors. So what you want to go ahead and do is follow them. Like I mentioned in this video here, once you start seeing like large inflows going back into the market, that means that big players are getting back in. And like I said, since they're forward looking, they're basically betting on future events to happen. So that's why they're pricing in the recession right now. So eventually we'll get a bottom here, and then the market will reverse and go higher, guys. All right, so you have to be on the lookout for that. So by the time that the mainstream media starts saying, oh, we're in a recession right now, there's as much pessimism as there can be right now in the markets. So this is exactly the time where you want to start paying close attention, because the market could reverse pretty soon. Since markets are forward looking, they're already pricing in the chance of a recession right now, so that when they reverse, they're on the other side of the recession fears. All right, remember, guys, do your due diligence before you invest, because all investing involves risk. There's going to be times where there's going to be major volatility. All right, and if you don't have the stomach for that, just don't watch your investments. Just invest, let it ride out for the long term. However, when there's major buying opportunities like there is right now, as you can see here, the high in the S&P 500, 4,800, guys. The low, 3,636. That's a drop of about 25%. All right, so these are rare opportunities in the market, and you definitely want to take advantage of them. So like I said, watch all these indicators like I've been mentioning in this video. So you want to see great inflows from large investors. You want to see price action starting to slow down. A lot of bottoming candles, especially on a daily, on a weekly, and a monthly basis, all right? Before you start getting into heavy positions, you want to see all these things, and you price in all the negativity first. before they reverse, and then the mainstream media gets all the negative attention. All right, so it tries to tell all these investors, warn all these investors that aren't even knowledgeable on the subject. Once your friends, your neighbors, your grandparents start talking about investments who don't even know about the market, once they start talking about a recession, guys, it's probably too late. That means the bottom has already come in, and you should definitely get back into the market. All right, I'll catch you on the next video.